All right, welcome to OddsJam TV. It looks like it's me and Mike here right now. I'm not sure we're going to get anybody else in the crew here, Mike.
Got Izzy in the background.
I did bring my cowbell. Hey, looky there. I brought my cowbell just for you, Steve.
What up, ladies?
More
What is
cowbell.
up?
What's going on?
More cowbell.
Hey, we got a guest right back here too. Check it out. Izzy's in the house.
What up, Izzy?
Aren't you feeling that music, Steve? All positive and making
I love it.
you're in it. You know what?
I love it.
You are in a positive place. Speaking of which, my question is, right now, where the hell is Steve?
My last day in Cancun, sadly.
Oh,
Another beautiful view, though. I mean,
Yeah.
when Steve is on the show, you're always going to get a nice view, whether it's a bunch of buildings or whether it's a nice, luxurious hotel or whether it's a beautiful beach or whether it's a nice open view like that. Unreal, man. Steve's
what are you
living it up.
Are you sucking up to him or what? If you get his
I'm
face
just
out of the
calling
way,
it like it is,
Yeah.
Bob.
Exactly. There
You got
go.
me. Hey, I
No,
mean,
it's
think of
perfect.
it this way. You got me in the bedroom here. You got you in the basement.
basement.
Yeah.
I'm in the studio, in the garage. Come on. All right.
It's not your
So-
mom's basement, is it, Bob?
No, it's not a basement. All right. So here we are. Don't forget, folks, if you guys follow my lead, don't try to take over my show. Sign up and click the links below, please. Thank you, Steve. For the best sports books in your state and also the OddsJam Partner Program. There's a link below for that. Share that with your friends. You get 20% of all of the revenue that's generated from that link. Also, you know what? Go to oddsjam.com and get 3 free bets. Okay? Doesn't cost you anything. 3 free profitable bets on a daily basis. Easy for me to say. And don't forget about the Positive EV page and the Bet Tracker. Remember, you can go use all this stuff for free, folks. And these odds, they move quick, they happen quick, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening. So, just right now, I just want to let people know we do have the chat opened up, and Edgar is in here again. Edgar, how you doing? Thank you for coming on the show. We've opened up the chat, Steve. So that's going to be something that's happening. But what I want to do right now is, because we have live sports going on right now, just to let people know that right now, Diamondbacks and the Mets are now in the bottom of the first inning. There's no score. The RBC Heritage Young is at 7 under. How do you say Van Ruyen is at 6 under, along with Tringali and Wise and Pereira. That is the way that field stacks up right now. And Steve, very quickly, who do you have as a favorite to win this tournament?
Well, we did take Neiman and we took Connors, so we'll be rooting for them. Young, I guess, is the live favorite, but good luck. It's windy out there today. I doubt he'll finish as the live favorite. Neiman. I like Neiman a lot. I think Neiman can probably get it done, but we'll see. It's
Okay. All right.
It's a short course.
Very good. Very good. All right. So what we're going to start off here with is something that Mike and Steve have dear to their heart, and that is the NBA playoffs. So let me kind of guide you here as to what I want to do. We got 2 playing games tonight, which, by the way, I just want to reiterate this. I think this playing game stuff is stupid. But anyway, we got 2 playing games tonight. So, Mike, I'm going to kind of let you take over. Atlanta and Cleveland first off. What are your thoughts on this game quickly?
Oh, well, I mean, my thoughts on this game are I love Atlanta. I think that they will be able to dictate the pace. Cleveland does have a good defense. I've kind of talked about that a lot over the course of the last few weeks. They are a good defensive team, but right now I just believe Atlanta will have enough firepower to knock off Cleveland. I felt like Brooklyn, even though they didn't necessarily destroy them, I thought they won with ease and pretty well controlled that game as well. I like Atlanta in this spot. Trae Young should be able to have a big game against them, no doubt about it.
Okay, Steve, what do you got?
Let me ask you a question. Do you know who played in the Eastern Conference Final last year?
Atlanta, baby.
So
Yeah, Atlanta and the Bucks. You know what their record was on the road in their first game in every series? 3-0.
4-0.
Well, they played three series
Okay.
on the road. Yeah, 3-0. So this is a team who knows how to win on the road in the playoffs. That's my point. I agree with Mike. I love the Hawks. Allen is coming back, so this line, or at least yesterday, I got him at money line -120. It's kind of creeped back up now, but I like a -2, whatever money line. Allen's a great defender. He's big offensively. Obviously, he was an all-star, but the Cavs are a bad matchup for them. The Cavs beat them 3 games in a row by an average of 12 points a game. I mean, the way how the Cavs play, especially now with Hunter in the starting lineup, is they can really space you out. So it's just a bad matchup for the Cavs who have 2 bigs who do their damage in the post. Well, they're not going to be able to play in the post because all the Atlanta bigs can shoot threes. So, and that can open up spacing. It's going to allow Trae Young to go to the basket. I did bet against Young in the last game only because it was a really bad matchup defensively as far as the guards and their length with the Hornets. Not the case with Cleveland. I think the Hawks win this game easily. So let's go.
I took the Hawks -2. Stockerbacher says the play-in is great. Sorry, Stockerbacher. I got to disagree with you. I think it's a dumb idea. But whatever. I'm an old man, and what the hell do I know? All right, let's talk about the next game, the Pelicans and the Clippers. Mike, does this change things completely now with Paul George out with COVID?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm a little bitter about this because I had a really good play on Paul George in this game. And then 20 minutes later, I find out he's out. So definitely changes things. I mean, the Pelicans were 3-1 against the Clippers. Obviously, when Paul George was back in the lineup last time, though, the Clippers were able to win. Clippers 24-27 without him. It's not as if they're awful. I think they're still competitive. But I think this definitely gives the edge now to the Pelicans because when Paul George isn't in the lineup, the Clippers are nowhere near as good. And I think this will open things up for CJ McCollum to be able to have another big game because now it's one less two-way play. I mean, Paul George is a two-way player. It was going to help you a lot on the defensive side in this matchup. Now somebody else has got to pick up his absence. So I'm a little worried now.
Hey, Edgar agrees with me. Yes, old school. All right. Your turn, Steve. Your thoughts on this game. Is it over for the Clippers? Is it over?
It's not over, but I'm not betting it now. I still think the Clippers probably find a way to get it done. It's the old Ewing theory. The team missing their star player, they can typically rise up for one game in his absence. Everything Mike said is absolutely true. PG really went off, and he was the reason why they're even here. Or, I guess they did lose that game. But I mean, if they would have won, it would have been because he went off. I just bet Paul George. I actually bet him over his points and over threes in that game. So yeah, obviously it's a big loss, but I mean, Powell and Jackson, they can still certainly pick up the pace. It's not like the Pelicans are any great team. I mean, all these teams are on the plane for a reason. They suck. But
that's right.
All
the more reason to not have to play in.
Yeah, Alvarez is, he's a great story. That point guard from Georgia State, I think. But he's like a 6-foot guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm not betting it, but if I were to, I would I would still take Clippers. I think they win.
All right. Stockerbacher says CJ is a shifty guy on the court, Bob. Great pickup. Hope the Clips win, though. We'll see what happens there. All right, we're going to stick with our NBA playoff talk. That is mainly what we're talking about today. We got 4 series that Mike and Steve, I want short synopsis of each series. Utah and Dallas, first off, If Luka is not there, Steve, is that pretty well a done deal? It's Utah all the way.
No, Luca, no problem. You know
Okay.
what? Dallas's record without Luca last 6 games is what, straight up? Take a guess.
I don't need to take a guess. You just tell me.
All right, 5-1. Right. So since Christmas,
Okay.
5-1. Brunson steps it up. Dinwiddie can play well. The Jazz suck. Okay, the Jazz. This is a team who has a shit ton. Oh, sorry, I'm going to try to curse this week. A ton of turmoil in the locker room. Losing Ingles, who was their glue guy, was huge. Dallas is going to win this series. I actually like them to sweep 40-1. Mavs 5-1. I think is the worst case scenario, 20-1. But if you just want to be conservative, take them to win the series, or even plus 1.5 games, plus 160. All bets good. All bets good bets here. Dallas wins the series.
Okay, Mike, what's your thoughts on this series?
Well, I mean, if Luka was no doubt just going to be awful and not available or anything like that, sure, I would be a little worried. But I don't think there's any doubt now heading into this. The consensus has been, oh, he's banged up, and he doesn't have a great supporting cast. But I'll tell you what, the Mavericks have been one of the better teams against the spread this year. Utah has been awful. I love the Mavericks in this matchup. I mean, Rudy Gobert is going to have to play an unbelievable series for Utah to have a chance to dominate the glass. He's going to have to just play out of his mind, but they don't have enough. I'm not high on Utah. I think Dallas will find a way to get this done. They have been too good this season against the spread, and Utah has just been abysmal.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with both of you. Let's move on to Minnesota and Memphis. Come on, guys. I know my boy Cat, and that's what I like to call him. I don't know if anybody else does, but I always refer to him as Cat. By the way, Edgar says he's not trying to curse this week, Steve. Maybe Steve should work on that, Edgar, huh? Anyway, I don't think that there's a snowball's chance in hell that Minnesota wins this series. Memphis is too tough. They are a dominant team, and I think they could be heading to the finals. You never know. Steve, what's your thoughts?
I mean, everyone knows who my team is, baby. But I mean, honestly, I was really hoping the Clippers would win. I think it's a bad matchup. I mean, the T-Wolves beat them already in their last game. And, to think that Memphis is going to roll through this series, I think is very incorrect. I think there's going to be a lot of value on the T-Wolves when they're on the road catching points. Because don't forget, the T-Wolves are a veteran team. This Grizz team is very deep. They're very young. But, that really helps in the regular season. That'll help you make adjustments along a series because you have more pieces to play with. But, in the playoffs, the rotations are seriously shortened. And there's no question that Minnesota has more star power. I think the Grizzlies win in 7, but it won't be easy. And I won't be shocked if Minnesota actually wins. I'm not betting the series, but I'm gonna bet Minnesota, not in the first game because they celebrated like they won the freaking championship after that play-in win, right? So
Right.
I don't like backing teams who celebrate after a meaningless win like that. Just getting into the playoffs.
Who'd you guys get all over in March Madness that
Exactly.
celebrated?
Exactly right.
You guys were ripping them all to hell. So
Yeah.
you know what? The T-Wolves aren't winning this series, dude.
No.
And it ain't going 7.
I hope not, but don't be shocked if it does.
Okay, Mike, your thoughts.
Well, Steve pointed out the celebration, and I think that this Memphis – and look, the Timberwolves have not been here. This is a new situation for this organization. Yes, they've got a guy like Patrick Beverley, who is no doubt a veteran and a guy who showed up in the big game for them against his former team. But I think Memphis has got a chip on their shoulder. And I think game 1 is going to be really telling in this series, because if Memphis comes out and just whips Minnesota in game 1, I just like the swagger and the confidence of this Memphis team. They're dangerous because they don't really have anything to lose in a sense. I mean, nobody thought they were going to be as good as they are. I mean, nobody did. So, I mean, you know, I think that game one is going to be telling in this series to see kind of how it goes. But the worry is Anthony Edwards, he's turning into a superstar before our eyes, guys. And if that happens in the playoffs where he decides that he wants to make this some of his moment, obviously Cat's got to stay out of foul trouble. But Anthony Edwards has the ability to get a game or two, especially when it gets back to Minnesota, to make this series interesting. So I'm with Steve on this fact that don't be shocked if this thing goes longer than expected, and then don't be surprised if people start trying to fade Memphis if they survive this series because they split on the season.
Okay, so very quickly, we're moving on to the next series. I get the last word. I don't think Minnesota has enough defense to handle Memphis. That, in my opinion, will be the difference in the series. All right, next series, Toronto and Philadelphia. Steve, I'm gonna go to Mike first here, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not sure that I'm a believer in the Joel Embiid led Sixers. I'm not sure that they're going to get past Toronto. And Mike, you and I talked last night. This Toronto team is scrappy. You go first.
Yeah, I mean, I like this Toronto team. They've been relatively good against the spread this year as well, 46-35-1. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has not been great. I worry about James Harden and his playoff struggles. It's a deal. It's something to look into and worry about. I like what Toronto has going with Siakam and Van Fleet and Scotty Barnes. And I like the fact that they've kind of got a good home court advantage now. These fans have not been at these games as often as other fans. So what you can imagine that when Toronto gets back to home, it's going to be ruckus. And I think Toronto is going to make this a deep series. Now, Joel Embiid is going to have to get, 30 plus. He needs to get 30 plus 20-something rebounds per game. I mean, there's no reason he can't. There's no reason he shouldn't. I like Philadelphia to win this series, though, but I think it's a 6-game series.
That sound means it's Steve's turn. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Philly's in some serious trouble. I mean, everyone thought after that trade it was going to be the Sixers Nets in the Eastern Conference final. I don't think either make it out of the first round. I mean, Raptors plus 1.5. It's a little bit juiced. That's the biggest gift ever. I think they win this series 4-2 most likely. At worst, it'll go 7. For everything that Mike said, I mean, Philly, Embiid's great. Embiid's going to be the best player on the court. But outside of that, I get it. It's the first round. The Harden choke artist probably won't come out until the next round, most likely. But there's nothing in this guy's history that makes me want to trust him in the postseason.
Right.
And, one big thing that's being overlooked is Steibel, who is their best defensive player, isn't vaccinated, so he can't even go to Canada. So he won't be playing in those games. This is an absolute must-win home game, game one for the Sixers. If they go down 0-1, they're completely fucked.
I watch your language here. All right. I agree with that 100%, and I'm ready to move on to our final series because we're about 20 minutes into this, boys. Denver and Golden State, and everybody's worried about, is Steph playing, which it's not confirmed that he's even going to play in game one. Does Denver even have a chance, Steve?
I mean, if you look at it on paper, yeah. I mean, Denver won the season series 3-1. But, for me, Denver's the same as Philly. They're a one-man show, and that just doesn't work in the postseason in a 7-game series. So, the Joker, he's great. Denver's probably going to be able to win 1 or 2 games at home, but no, they have no chance to win this series. Especially if Draymond, can play up to where he was in the middle of the season. Like, his plays dropped off, and I mean, Clay, how can you not love Clay? He's one of the best guys in the league. You got to feel for him after those injuries. But, I mean, I just think, with Curry back, and he's going to be back game one. He's going to be on a minute restriction, but who really cares? Denver, I mean, if they had some of the pieces, if they had Michael Porter Jr., if they had Jamal Murray, then I'd be a different, have a different take. But
okay.
Denver is my choice.
All right. Mike, it's your turn.
Yeah, I mean, you looked at how Golden State started the year. They were unbelievable. And I know that we're looking at a different team, but I mean, the consensus is that Steph should, I mean, even if it's game 2, game 3, I think he shows up in this series at some point, unless Golden State just shows that they're going to be able to handle this series with ease. And then they thought is, you know what, let's not rush him back. But I mean, Denver is they don't have enough. I mean, Steve said it. They're a one-man show. Jokic is great. Nobody's going to take anything away. If Denver loses the series, none of us are going to say, well, Jokic isn't that good. No, he can only do so much.
All right. Cannabis guy said Drake bet on the Warriors, $200K.
Yeah. Well, Drake's high, but it's a great bet.
We're not going to touch the Nets Celtics, Bob?
I haven't gotten that far yet. No, I guess we can. Yeah, let's go ahead. And then, we're going to end the show in a few. I was going to get to some other stuff, but we're probably not going to get there. Yeah, let's go ahead. Nets and Celtics. Everybody's thinking the Celtics are in trouble. Oh, my. I'm scared. Boston can't handle. KD's coming after me. Get out of here. The Nets ain't going nowhere. Go home.
No, I mean, if Simmons was playing, I would give them a puncher's chance. Okay. He's not. I mean, they said he might. He's not. The bottom line is his lawyer told him, you can't play this year if you want to get that settlement from the Sixers. All that bum cares about is money, so he can afford a new crocodile jacket, or the hell he was wearing. Do you see that? That insane jacket he was wearing? Yeah. I mean, Simmons, we'll leave all the expletives out, but he's a complete puss.
You just can't help yourself.
No, that puss isn't a.
Okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah. Celtics are going to destroy them, basically. I mean, no Robert Williams hurts, but who cares? Celtics in 5, 6 max. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just going to tell you something. I come from the old school, like Edgar does here, where there were 7 words that you couldn't say on television, and you pretty well say them all every time I see you. All right, Mike, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you looked at these two teams that battled last year in the same spot, 2-7 matchup, obviously different seeds for both teams. But, Brooklyn is a dangerous team. No two ways about it. I think that they're going to find a way to at least make this series a little more interesting. But as high as I've been on Boston and as fearful as I am about the Nets, I can't jump off the ship. I think that Boston has got something going with their defense, with Jason Tatum becoming more of a facilitator and getting all of the great guys involved that they have. I mean, Boston, to me, it's just – and they've got a little bit of revenge in their minds with this Brooklyn team. They were bounced in 5 games last year, They were whipped. So right. I think ultimately Boston is going to find a way to get this done. But, I mean, Brooklyn will find a way to probably get a game or 2.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right. We are now at the closing line, guys. And we all get to go around and talk about something that is bothering us or something in sports that you'd like to talk about. I'm going to talk about NBA officiating and my boy Cat. Okay, that's what I like to call him. Cat. I don't know about you guys, but and my boy Cat falling out in the last game. Okay, if you're going to do that in the playoffs, then Minnesota ain't got a chance to win a game, because if as a matter of fact, if the officials are going to call it that tight, then what I would do is I'd focus all my attention on Edwards and let Cat foul out or get in foul trouble. unless you call the game like it was meant to be called. No ticky tacky bullshit, refs. Knock the crap off right now. Let's get with it. You know what? It's the NBA playoffs. Let them play basketball.
All right, that's my cutting you off noise.
All right, go. Go, Mike. It's
for
your
me,
turn.
and I'll keep it a little shorter than what you were. Look, all these people, it is early in the Major League Baseball season. Everybody's talking about all these teams that they didn't expect to be that good coming in, and look how impressive they are through 7 games. They play 162 games in baseball, folks. This happens every single year. Bad teams play good in April and good teams play bad in April. It happens every freaking year, guys. Why do you think now all of a sudden that you believe that a team like the Oakland A's, you really think they're a contender through 7 games? I mean, they look good. Yes, they look like a good team, but go ahead and ride them all year. Go ahead and ride them. Fade the good teams all year and see how that works for you.
There's only one thing with the Oakland A's. They're leading all of baseball with 6 runs a game.
It's 7 games.
I know,
it's
but nobody saw that kind of offense coming.
Well,
Steve, you got the last word on the closing line.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about Cat. Scott Foster had a personal beef with them, so he fouled them out. But I would keep an eye on that. If Scott Foster refs one of those games, absolutely bet the Grizzlies. Yeah, baseball. Who cares? It's a horrible sport to watch and bet. I did like your TikTok at the Blues though, and I misspoke. They won. They've actually won 3 games in a row, right? 4 games in a row.
More than that, but yeah. Why you wanting to see my Blues thing again?
No, you know what? I wasn't on TikTok for a while. It popped up. I said, I hope you enjoyed witnessing that loss. I just assumed they lost, but
no. They won 6-1, and they're playing great.
Yeah.
And they're Stanley Cup contenders. All I can say.
Yep. So you know what? That'll be my take. Keep betting the Blues till the wheels fall off.
There you go. Now Edgar said that's a 3, Steve. So there you go. We're going to end on that, folks. That is OddsJam TV for today. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate everybody that joins us here on OddsJam TV. There it is. There's that happy music. Steve said more cowbell. Goodbye.